Just the other day, we got a new F-Zero 99 update featuring 5 new tracks and 4 new skins. This may not seem like a lot to some people, but for anyone familiar with the Satellaview, this is huge. All these new additions came from BS F-Zero Grand Prix, the F-Zero games for the Satellaview service that I described in my last video. If you want to know more about the Satellaview, go and watch that one. There were 2 separate BS F-Zero titles. The first is available between December 1996 and January 1997, and split into 4 weeks. Each week would have 1 league from the original game, but slightly remixed. The 5th track of each course, however, will be an entirely new course. These courses were Silence 2, Big Blue 2, Sandstorm 1, and Sandstorm 2, with the Sandstorm line of courses being entirely new, though they look to take place on the same planet as Sand Ocean. To make up for the 4 new tracks, the game also introduced a new 4th league, the Ace League, to continue the playing card theming from the original F-Zero game. These tracks would later return in BS F-Zero Grand Prix 2, which was broadcast in summer 1997. Before the full release of the Prix, a practice mode was released. This version was intended to let players train for the upcoming races. It featured a new Ace League with all 4 of the new tracks from the previous Satellaview release, with the addition of Mute City 4 as a new starter track. As the other 3 leagues all opened up with a Mute City course, adding this new track allowed the new league to slot in nicely with the original 3. And if you notice, this is the exact same track list as was added to F-Zero 99, fully integrating these new tracks with those from the original F-Zero. That said, however, there are a few tracks that are still missing. When Grand Prix 2 returned in August of the same year, it had 2 further occurrences, each with a different track list. Instead of providing the 5 previously shown Ace League tracks as they were presented in the practice session, those courses were split across 2 weeks, with the addition of Forest 1, 2, and 3, and Metal Fort 1 and 2, which still aren't available in F-Zero 99, and are technically lost media, though they've been recreated from scratch by the BS F-Zero Deluxe team based on archived VHS footage. Forest appears to take place in exactly where you'd expect, a large grassy clearing smack in the center of a mountainous forest. Metal Fort is in the middle of a metallic landscape, looking somewhat like the surface of the Death Star. It's surrounded by a large wall with guns mounted on top of it. That said, unfortunately, I don't think we can expect to see those tracks in F-Zero 99. If they were to release them, they would have to release them as their own league, with only the 5 tracks made up of only the 2 themes. So I find that to be quite unlikely, unfortunately. Alongside the 10 new tracks, the BS F-Zero games also gave us 4 new vehicles: the Blue Thunder, Luna Bomber, Green Amazon, and Fire Scorpion. I mentioned those vehicles also in my video on the original F-Zero. Their drivers are unknown, but they share color schemes and stats of the 4 vehicles from the original game. And if you've been playing F-Zero 99 this week, I'm sure you've seen them before. This is because these are the 4 new vehicle decals that were released alongside the Ace League update. This update really just brought in as much as they could find from the BS F-Zero original content. Now, me being me, I'm going to try to place this in the F-Zero timeline. And I think the best place for that would be between the original F-Zero and F-Zero 99. We have a running theory that with the sheer number of racers in the F-Zero 99 races, this race is extremely dangerous. With 99 people on the track at once, it wouldn't be a surprise if something bad happened during a race that could injure a large number of racers, such as a huge vehicle pileup, possibly caused by our old friend Pico. BS F-Zero, on the other hand, really does just seem like it's meant to be in the same general time frame as the original game, with both sets of games at this point leading into F-Zero 99. What else do you think would be really cool to see added to the game? Personally, I've really been hoping for other racers that were introduced in later games. Maybe a Red Gazelle in his human form would be fantastic, but more likely they'd probably just give us Jody Summer. Let me know what you think in the comments, or you can jump in the Discord server, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.